Hello YouTube. I'm going to do a small and quick video about the M89, or as it's known here in Denmark, the Krag. Many of you maybe saying Krag Jorgensen. It sounds kind of fun, but it's a Krag in Danish, and it's chambered in 8x58 rimmed Danish. This particular one is from. The lighting is quite bad. This is from 1944. I got this from my father, who then again had it from my grandfather, who was in the Danish resistance, or he had a friend who was in the Danish resistance back in World War II, and they stole a lot of these from the Danish Rifle Syndicate before they blew it up. So this is one of the absolute last ones ever produced in the world. The M89, it's called the 89 because it was set into production in 1889. It's one of the first smokeless cartridges in the world. And it's a great gun. It has, unlike the American Krag or Krag, it has a magazine that opens out sideways instead of down. It takes 5 in the magazine and 1 in the chamber. And the thing about this old design is that it is extremely smooth operating. It is absolutely one of the best designs I have ever shot, and it's a total delight to shoot this gun. I know that some of you in the States now and then find these guns chambered in the 8x58. I want to talk a little bit about getting ammunition, because here in Scandinavia we have until recently been able to get the original Norma production 8x58 with a 12.7 grams soft point. It's roughly about 198 grains, but these are extremely expensive and very hard to get to, so I make my own. I know some of you who are experimenting are fire forming the 7.62 by let's take a brass one, the 7.62 Russian. The casing is it's pretty much the same as the 8x58. Although it has a smaller bullet, this is a 7.62 bullet, and the Danish Krag is 0.323 inches. But what I do is I take 4570 cases. They are just like the 7.62 Russian, exactly 54 millimeters long. The original Danish cases are 58 millimeters long. You could use with great success 4590, because you could shorten it down to get the 58 millimeters. No, wait a minute. The 4570, they are pretty easy to come by in Denmark. But the 4590, they are extremely expensive and pretty hard to get by. What you have to do, you see here I have a 4570 casing, and these are homemade 8x58 made from 4570. RCBS makes a die set in 8x58. And what I do is I take the 4570 and I chug it in the lathe, and I I take a small amount of the rim diameter because it's slightly larger than the 58, and when I have taken a bit off, I think it's about 0.2 millimeters. I fit it in the machine and I size it. All you have to do is you have to make sure it's very well looped up, and what you end up with is 8x54, but it shoots very blah, blah, English, man. It shoots very well. You know, I'm from Denmark, so speaking English is quite unnatural for me. It's not something that you do every day. So instead of fireforming these 7.62 Russian, just get hold of some 45-70 and like I said, chuck them in a lathe. Take a little bit of the rim diameter and size them up, and there you go. Voila, you have a 8x54 that shoots very, very well in these old. I can show you. Whoops. It chambers perfectly. So yeah, I know I'm inside of the house and it is loaded. They are very precise, and it's like I said, it's a delight to shoot. This particular rifle is a carbine version. The rifle version is about, I would say, this much longer. It's the rifle version is about 133 centimeters long. These rifles are very accurate. They are quite heavy. They have if you look at the barrel is actually only this wide. This part here is an outer tubing, and as I recall, it is filled with what could you call it? A very tar-like product. This is made for the military, so shooting many rounds fast, you needed to have something that could absorb the heat, and they hadn't invented the fluted barrel, so they had to come up with something that was heat absorbent, and this is indeed very, very, very effective. The magazine, let's take some cartridges. Like I said, it feeds sideways. You just throw them in there, and I don't know if you can see it because of the lighting, but in here you have a small arm that prevents the case from getting chambered. In order to engage the magazine, you have to lift up this small lever. The little arm disappears in here, and you can chamber the rounds. So, like I said, if you come by an old Danish Krag 8x58, go ahead and buy it. You won't regret it. It shoots like a dream, and it's my favorite gun of all time. Absolutely original condition. Nothing has been changed, or well, except for the sling. The old one had rotted away, but this is indeed my favorite gun of all times. And casings easily made from 45-70, and as I mentioned earlier, it's the RCBS who makes the die set. The die set itself, it's pretty expensive, but it's well worth the cost. So that's all for now. I have another rifle, the same caliber that I am rebuilding, and I will get back to you. So 8x58 Krag in Danish, and over and out.